it's Coach Keisha Austin, and I am going to share with you 3 reasons why you absolutely cannot give up. Let's get into it. Number 1 is your future. When you throw in the towel, you are giving up on your future, not your past. Everything that you've been through, every obstacle that you face, every door that's been shut in your face, that is all preparation for your future. It's you sowing seed into your future. A lot of times we mistake sacrifices for us being on the wrong path. And we think about stories of Steve Harvey and T.D. Jakes and Denzel Washington. All of these success stories of people doing, miraculous things in the world that they don't always put out in the mainstream media to get congratulated for or rooted on to do. These people were placed in a position where they had to struggle to get to their victory. What if they had given up? What if they did not continue on and press on and persevere and continue to move forward? Steve Harvey, for example, he lived out of his car. He had a family to support. Not saying that he made all the best decisions, but apparently God had a calling on his life, and he knew that he had a calling on his life, and he continued to move forward. I remember reading his book, he said that he was having a really, really tough time, and the day that he was going to give up to leave Florida to go back home, he checked his voicemail, and it was a call from the show from the Apollo. So that was huge for him. They wanted him to come just like that. So he was able to call. He called his voicemail back to see, did he mean this week or next week? And the guy who left the voicemail, he meant this week. So Steve had about 2 or 3 days in between going to Showtime at the Apollo to do some gigs in Florida where he was, so that he would have enough money to get to New York to do the Apollo. So right when he was about to give up, his breakthrough was right there. And I just imagine if he was so down in the dumps that he gave up and that he did not press forward. If he threw in the towel right there and said, you know what, I don't care what show, I'm not even going to check my voicemail, I'm just going to give up. No, he would have given up on everything, the life that he has now. So that is the number 1 reason why you cannot give up. We make mistakes. We drop the ball. That is also a part of the journey, right? But everything you have left is sufficient for what you need in order to move forward. You have everything in your hands right now for what you need to move forward towards your destiny. If you needed anything else, God will give it to you. Understand that. And we all have different situations. We're all faced with different, you could be like, well, Keisha, my situation is different, or I've been through this, or I'm going through this. There's grace available to you. I love having this conversation with my amazing clients and telling them that, your situation may be different and that you may have so many more struggles than the average person, but understand that God knows that, right? And there's grace available to you. So that grace is that buffer place to fill in the void to where you're not able to do what it is that you need to do for yourself. His love and his graciousness will fill that void. Number 2, that's 4. 2, it will pass. When you think about the good times, you're like, dang, I remember the good old days. Those good old days more than likely passed, and they followed up with something else. Then you had good days. Time is ever changing. The seasons change. Nothing is designed to stay the same. But the thing is, everything that you experience, whether good or bad, it is for the good of you. So you have to understand that it is aggravating, it's stressful, it's annoying. It doesn't seem like it has any purpose, but you have to understand that the word tells us that all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. And I always bring that up because it's on my worst day. I have that to push me forward. I know that I don't understand this. I know that it doesn't make sense, but yeah, I somehow, some way need to go through this. And I'm so thankful for the times in my life when I struggled. When, even growing up, for a long time, I thought that me and my family were poor until I met other people. We weren't poor, we were less fortunate. And with those less fortunate circumstances, I know how to survive. I know how to deal without certain things. I know how to, make it on little to nothing. And that's a blessing to me. I needed to go through those things so that I could appreciate the life that I have today. And if anything was to happen, I know how to survive. I don't need the glitz and the glam and all of these things in order for my world to go around, because I've seen it on the other side. I needed to go through those things to make me who I am, to be used the way that God would have me be used. And that's another thing. We all have different purposes. So your struggles may look different because of the gift that is going to be pushed out of you. So some of us, are actresses, or, some of us are singers. Your struggle, or, some of us build highways. Your struggles are going to look different from someone who doesn't have the same purpose as you, who God doesn't have to. And this is another thing too. Oh, I'm getting excited. So, you know how you have a conversation with someone, or have had a conversation with someone, and they say, "Oh my God, I ran a red light and that just ran, or I ran over a squirrel and that just ruined my day. Oh my goodness, that was just a word. I'm so that squirrel. Oh my goodness." And you're just like, okay, it's not the worst thing that could happen to ruin a day, but so different circumstances pull different things out of different people. So sometimes it takes a death. Sometimes it takes for someone to transition out of a relationship or transition out of a career. Whatever it is that God has to use for you to get that lesson, or whatever the purpose is of that circumstance, for Him to use you, it will happen for you, and happen for you and to you the way that God has uniquely designed it for His will for your life. So back to the number 2 is that it will get better. Keep that in mind, that it will get better. It has to pass. You're just going through a transition, and sometimes, trust me, I know 2018 has been a whirlwind for me. So sometimes a phase or a transition is a year. Sometimes it's a decade. Sometimes it's half of a decade. Sometimes it's half a century, But in the end, it will pass. And thank God for the breaks along the way. 2018 has been a trying year for me, but I'm thankful for the great things that have happened along the way. All right. And number 3, I'm going to share with you my story and why I did not give up. This is the 3rd reason. So you have that you're giving up on your future. This too will pass, and my own testament to you to why I did not give up. So some years ago, I had lost my job, and I was making really, really good money at the time. And I had lost my job. And I remember going to Plato's Closet to sell some clothes. And I had bought some really nice stuff because I had a good job. So I went to Plato's Closet to sell some stuff. And I remember they gave me $4. They did not take a lot of my things. And what they did take, I think they gave me I think it was $3 or $4. It was it wasn't more than $5. And I remember driving down the highway with my husband and the boys in the car. And I wanted to just run off the road. I remember my husband just rubbing my back and telling me to compose myself so that we could get over into the lane on the highway, because I was crying like crazy, like losing it. Just like, oh my God, I cannot believe my life is where it is today. It doesn't look remotely possible that I could be here when I was just at this other place, months ago. And I just remember the burden being so heavy, bills here, bills there, and just trying to move forward in life. And I'm stuck because I don't have any income, and my life is not going in the way that I know that I deserve for it to go, in the way that I want it to go based on the goals that I have. And it was awful. It was awful having to go back and sign up for food stamps, to go back to get Medicaid, to go back to getting unemployment. It was just awful. At the time I was waiting on my unemployment, as a matter of fact. I was waiting on my unemployment. I had to wait like a month or so to go through the process of getting it. So it was just a really, really dry place. And I was totally having to depend on my husband. And not that I have a problem with that, but I'm just really used to being self-sufficient. And in that time, I just wanted to give up. I just felt like I was useless to my family, to my husband, to my kids. And I'm just like, Lord, I have worked so hard, and now here I am again with no income, no job. Well, shortly, very much so, after that, I was blessed with not only one job, but 2 jobs, and the house of my dreams at the time. I have since moved from that house, but that was the best house that me and my husband talked about it last night. That was the most beautiful house, and we still think about it because of the process that we went through to get in the house. It was only God. So I'm telling you, if I would have given up that day based on external circumstances, not really dealing with what was going on in here and in here, I wouldn't be here for my children, I wouldn't be here for my family, and I would not be here encouraging and uplifting you. So keep going. It's gonna get better. Take care.